My name is Konstantinos Pitas, and this is a video abstract from my paper entitled Artistic Activism and Museum Accountability, Staging Antagonism in the Cultural Sphere, which is published in Theory, Culture and Society. In 2019, I was invited at Columbia University as a visiting scholar as part of my broader research, which explored different modes of engagement with cultural institutions as a model to spatialize democratic politics. My research started with a basic premise, namely that cultural institutions are of particular importance. They are sites that have wide acceptance and valuable resources, while normalizing and determining social values and perspectives. However, it has been argued that cultural institutions have succumbed to a post-democratic neoliberal ideology. In other words, instead of allowing the articulation of diverse social demands, they embody a consensual and techno-managerial model of governance. For instance, cultural institutions might often deploy progressive discourses, inclusive policies and diverse exhibitions, but are reluctant to address deeper structural problems and their complicity in structures of equality and oppression. In this respect, I started writing this article bearing in mind that artistic activism has been attempting, quite successfully and effectively, to raise all these issues by bringing political protest into museums and holding them accountable to the communities they supposedly serve. So while in New York, I was in luck since I came across such an activist campaign that was unfolding at the Whitney Museum of American Art. The actions were coordinated by the action-oriented movement Decolonize This Place. The campaign succeeded in targeting a specific board member who was profiteering from war and state violence and who eventually resigned from the board. In my paper, I attempt to analyze this specific case study through a number of different perspectives. First of all, I document a diversity of tactical modes of engagement and of putting pressure on the Whitney that range from unsanctioned interventions like sit-down protests to more subtle means of propagation like open letters or critical research. In addition, I argue that these protests provided a testament to the changing landscape of contemporary political action. They demonstrated how multiple demands and sides of struggle can complement one another. While the paper highlights the potential of artistic activism, it also addresses some of its limitations. Although the activists and their disruptive tactics were essential, I contend that the multiplicity of other agents, like museum staff, artists, curators, and critics, working both from inside and outside the museum, were needed to create multiple pressure points. Lastly, my broader intention was to show that institutions, as part of the social, are inevitably permeated by inner divisions. Hence, there's a lot of potential in repurposing institutional spaces and structures into terrains of mobilization and political struggle. Indeed, staging the antagonisms that lie dormant in any given institutional structure is perhaps our best sought in the process of their democratization.